Well, Gary, fantastic result to go into the international break, but you said it was a little bit of a difficult game and you weren't entirely pleased with the first half.
Yeah, I think look, you want something close to. I'm not suggesting perfection, but you want a dominant game, don't you, at home? And I think any game that you dominate at home, you come away feeling fairly happy. And it's not easy to do that in the Championship, as we know. A team like Blackburn who are struggling at the bottom end of the league, but the recent performances, to win away at Derby and to put some very, very improved performances in recent weeks, regardless of whether the results have shown that improvement. It's always difficult, you know the game's going to be tough. We found them hard at home again, we said before. I don't want to make too much of it. It becomes a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, doesn't it? If you start saying we struggle against the teams down the bottom, you wonder whether the players feed off on that. But first half, pretty even. I felt we probably edged the first half, but certainly both teams playing 4-4-2. Just seemed a bit too much space for me. Seemed easy for us to get into reasonable positions but not make the most of it. Then they could break and get into a similarly easy position. And I don't like games like that. I feel edgy on the bench. It doesn't feel like we're in control. And certainly you try to change that second half. But that's always a problem when you go 4-4-2. It gives you better options in the final third, but it also means your midfield have to control the space really, really well, and your back four, otherwise it causes them problems. So, second half, at half time, we came out with a little bit more about us, a little bit more edge. We've done that in games. We started slowly, and we've got stronger and stronger as the games have gone on. I think that's a testament to, our game management, certainly our fitness that we've done, the athletic look of our team. Again, we seem to be handling games really, really well. Second half, much better. I think Leggsy makes a fantastic save off Emnes early in the second half to make sure, the game's still level. And I think that was one of two shots they had. And I thought we were particularly dominant again, much like Preston game. Not quite as dominant, but, we certainly had more of the ball. Felt as though we just couldn't quite create enough opportunities in the space around Dukey, and Shea was a little bit quiet today, and I just wanted to see if we could challenge that space a bit more by putting Diego on in there. And as it was, we ended up scoring a pretty similar way to the way we created 2 or 3 chances, didn't we? Where Cots has done great, put a great ball in the box. Glee's, I think it was Mag's the first chance, puts the ball in. Glees is sitting up for him, and it's a difficult shot technically to get on target. He just missed. Similar one along the floor that Cots pulls back. Great ball by Specs to put Cots in. And we end up, you just praying that he shows the quality, and he did, and as a sitting midfielder to sense the space and step into it and get the finish was really pleasing. And then I felt as though we pretty much controlled the game then.
You mentioned David Cottrell there. I thought he had a fantastic game in all aspects, not just his on the ball and delivery, but his sort of ceaseless work rate.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny really, because I think sometimes when you're a winger, it's like there's a ball there, and perhaps fans think you go sliding in with your head, and perhaps some wingers are not quite as brave sometimes in terms of making challenges. And as we know, this crowd, you want to, they're a crowd that wants hard work and endeavour and toughness, and we've showed that on the whole. But for Cots today, he puts in the most distance in terms of running in a game. He's an incredibly athletic player. He's like a machine at times when he's up and down that side of a pitch, and he helps whoever plays fullback out there. We saw it last year predominantly with Caddy. He protects them, he runs back, he makes a lot of tackles and intercepts things. But today going forward, I thought he was really, really bright. I think he gained a bit of confidence from Tuesday, where I thought he was excellent, one of our better players. And I thought he did it again today from the start. He gave Williams a really, really tough game. Put some fantastic balls in the box, and not least for the goal. He's got in behind. As I said, it was a really incisive pass from Specs in behind the fullback. Cots makes a really good run to penetrate that space, if you like, and then he shows the composure to pull it back, and there's Glees comes in with a really, really good finish.
Mentioned we've spoken before that the team's got a lot more options now, but also in the second half, that the game management, the savvy that this group has now got, that's there for all to see. It's improving as well, isn't it?
It's improving. I think we've got a real strength about us. We can deal with teams putting us under pressure. We don't seem to be caused too many problems by that. Again, we can play higher up the pitch to stop balls or teams getting a lot of space and putting us under pressure in the first place. We've got good options off the bench to change things. You know, you look today, we can bring Diego on to change things. We could bring Robbo on to shore it up. We can bring Royce on to shore up that left side where I just felt two wingers at that point of the game might leave a bit of space as much as, you know, Mags would show a threat going forward. So. And we've done that previously as well in the Preston game, in the Sheff Wednesday game. We've changed games off the bench and been much better. And that's what a squad's about. That's the strength of the squad. That's what you need. Why you need options. And we just feel as though we've got better options this year. So I'm really pleased with where we are at the moment. I'm pleased with not always the performances, but I'm pleased where we find a way to win games and draw games. You know, well, we've lost one game in 11. Add that to the 4 or 5 we were undefeated at the end of last season, and it's a really, really strong run. And as I said, we know we've got to maintain it. We know we've got to work even harder to maintain it. But we're pleased where we are at the minute.